Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It is Pro Wrestling Weekly. It's Tuesday. The Avengers are assembled. The new kid on the block is there, as you can see. Keith's joining us tonight. Wanted to have a chat about Raw and all things pro wrestling. You'll know Keith from being in the chat all the time. So you guys in the chat need to up your game tonight, because Keith's normally the one who's pressing us with all the questions and stuff like that. So if you have any questions for Keith in relation to pro wrestling or anything like that, you can drop them in the chat there and we'll put them to Keith. We are going to be looking, of course, for your NXT Mount Rushmore. I seen this yesterday on the socials and I thought it'd be kind of a cool topic to cover today, and we get the lads' ideas on it as well. But if you can, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. Most important, make sure you like and subscribe and you have that bell notification button in there. Daz is in the chat. Big up, Daz. Good to see you, my friend. As always. Bren, how are we?
Very good. Top of the world. I lost about a stone today walking through the park to get to your shop because it's 21 degrees here. And as an Irishman, I cannot handle the heat. Meister's in the chat.
There we go. Sean, how are we?
All good, my end.
Good. And Keith?
All good.
Keith losing his podcast virginity tonight, so all good. So all
start
good.
somewhere.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. Hey, Meister's in. The boys and Finglas are here for Bren. Love the podcast. And Reggie's in as well. Eno's in. Howdy, folks. Good on you. Good to hear from you today, Ian. Right, so what we got tonight, folks, we're going to have a quick look at Raw. Kind of an indifferent, interesting kind of Raw, but we will talk about it. We are going to be talking about, if I can find it, AAA coming up, Triple Mania coming up this weekend, of course, AAA. Some really good matchups on that and stuff will be well worth watching. Only thing, it's Sunday morning, 2 a.m. live on WWE's YouTube channel. But some interesting matchups and stuff like that. And of course, the big thing for me and the special attraction, Conan being inducted into the AAA Hall of Fame by Rey Mysterio, for me is massive, I have to say. Really happy about that as well. We have another few bits in there as well. You can let us know. If you're in the chat there, let us know who's your opponent for WrestleMania 42 based on your birthday month. Shout them out there, lads, if you want. Wow. And in the chat, you can let us know who your ones are as well. Big up, Baz. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us, as always. Sean, who's your WrestleMania opponent?
Oh, God, I got Rusev, and I'm not looking forward to that after the past few weeks on Raw.
Keith?
Do I have to say it's Ryback?
There you go. Couldn't pick a better opponent. Daz is in. He's got Cena. Absolutely. I like the sound of that one. Bren, who have you got?
Cody Rhodes.
Very nice. I'm February, so there you go. So that would be certainly be an interesting one. He'd be getting loafed in the nuts, as they say. But yeah, if you want to let us know in the chat, and also, folks, if you want to have a think about your NXT Mount Rushmore, going all the way back, some fabulous NXT rosters. Think of the black and gold brand originally and all that, and those fabulous takeovers and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, you can let us know as well who your WrestleMania 42 opponent would be based on your birthday month. There we go. Right, what else have we got then? We're going to be talking carrying cross, of course, I should say. I have a couple of other news articles as well. We're certainly on the road to Clash in Paris. Going to be talking about that, and of course Mount Rushmore, any other business that people want to bring up and stuff like that. We will be talking about that Mahoney fucker Bret Hart as well. Make no mistake about that. That's coming up anyway.
I thought you were going to say Bren Reed.
Strap yourselves in, the MetLife screw job. Strap yourselves in. Right, let's kick off with Raw. Bren, kick us off.
Raw started very interestingly. Naomi is not medically cleared. So even before the segment began, they had mentioned that Naomi is obviously not medically cleared, as we've talked about over the last few weeks on the pod. Naomi's on a serious, brilliant streak. I hope she's all right. But in terms of the opening, lads, isn't the Montreal crowd off their rocker?
I thought it was
such a great way.
Yeah,
it was so good. And one of the cool things as well is when LA Knight interrupted CM Punk after his spiel. I liked the way he kind of shook his hand before good friends, better enemies kind of deal. He shook his hand before there. Paul Heyman, absolute genius, comes out. Do you know what annoyed me about the whole thing though? And it's wrecking me head. First of all, I thought the segment was really good. And what did Paul Heyman call himself? The Adorable Oracle. What a name! Absolutely phenomenal. But lads, what's the crack with the Shalalu, the Shalalu, the
Shula Fala?
What is
the
this?
Shula Fala.
He's collecting Roman Reigns' runners.
Yeah, the tribal thief, the Shula Fala.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Did we lose me, or have I lost you?
No, I can still see you and hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Who did we lose? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, look, the only thing that annoyed me is the whole shit. Sorry. The only thing that annoyed me was the whole shoot thing. But the best part of this was Braun Breaker doing the mats at the end. You're 46, you're 48, and that means our combined age is nearly 100. Steiner mats. It was absolutely fantastic. It was. But yeah, no, look, I thought it was a good opener. It sets us up for the main event, and of course, the main event then sets us up for something further. I like the opening of Raw. Solid.
Good. Keith,
Sorry
up next. Take us through. What did you like on Raw? What did you not like on Raw? What were you happy with? What were you not happy with?
I couldn't really understand why Jay wasn't a part of the start of Raw, if I'm being honest. Even though he was brought in at the end. But I was thinking, I actually really enjoyed the tag match with AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. I'm actually really enjoying that storyline because I think they actually bounce off each other very well, and it's been really done, like really well done. Sorry, up till now. Now I don't know how long they're going to do it for, probably another month or two, because I heard that AJ Styles is going to be, is it Dragon Lee or something like that? He's supposed to be facing soon, from what I've heard.
Yeah, he's facing Dragon Lee and El Grande. I think it might be even the main event. I'm not too sure of Triple Mania. It's like Kingo versus Dom versus Dragon Lee versus El Grande in a 4-way.
I kind of have a bit of a Sammy situation, to be quite honest. Now, I don't know if we can talk about it yet or leave it.
Talk about it now. Fire away.
So
don't hold back.
I think he needs to turn heel. I think it's a bit too long in the tooth now with him being the underdog. I think he needs a bit of a character change. And I feel like you're probably going to laugh at this. Like, come out if it's like, if we're doing like the Saudi Arabia thing, come out like and burn the flag or something like that, Palestine flag or something. Stuff
Jesus.
Like that. You know, like, just he needs something to change. I just feel like he's gone a bit stale. That's just my opinion.
Jesus Christ.
Do you remember the last time they did something to a flag? Can any of you recall?
Do you want Americans? Do you want Canadian?
No.
Well, it was JBL, wasn't it?
No. The last time when it got serious. The last time was when Jericho was in Brazil. Remember? And he disrespected the flag and they nearly had to get him out of there quick, sharp. He was getting arrested and everything, wasn't it? Because I think down in Brazil, anything to do with the flag and stuff like that is a criminal offense. So as far as I know, so yeah, absolutely. But there you go. Look. There we go. Jericho. When you know, don't you?
He's an encyclopedia, is a Meister.
But no, I do feel Sammy needs a bit of an upgrade and a heel turn, I feel, to be quite honest.
I just think he needs more beatdowns. I thoroughly enjoyed it last night, I have to say.
But here's my thing on that, Keith.
Sean's nodding down below. Sean's going 100%.
Are you Sean? Are you in agreement? Are you in agreement?
I am. I think do you know what? I'm going to be dead honest. I don't think even a character change at this point can save him. I think he's kind of gotten to the point where he's beyond saving. This whole Sammy for world champion crap, I can't see it. In fact, I could barely see him holding another mid-card title again. Never mind the world title. There's just nothing interesting. He's that lumberjack character or that homeless lad that found his way into the building and can't find the exit again, you know?
Well, the only thing is, right, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, because look, if he did a character change, if he went heel, I think he'd do it well as well. But every single time he comes out, he gets the reaction. I think Niall has said in the past he's all entrance, and when he hits the ring, you said it about somebody else, but Sammy's great in the ring. He's great in the ring, and the fans seem very, very much behind him. So I understand where you are going, but is it necessary if he's that over? Or
yeah, but it gets to a point as well where like you kind of get sick of the same thing with him. That comes out.
Is it credible that he goes out and wins by disqualification last night against Rusev?
Well, I don't think it does. Like, what are they doing with Rusev? That's another thing. Like, I know they have the Sheamus thing, but ever since he came back, they just kind of just like threw him in the mix, and he hasn't really been doing it.
Most people they brought back, they've dropped the ball on. Look at Aleister Black as well.
Yeah,
but I don't think they've necessarily dropped the ball on them. I think they went to AEW and they lost all momentum. I think they went somewhere where they thought the grass was greener, or in some cases they were let go. And what they found out was, without the machine behind them, they're not as big as stars as they think they are, especially Aleister Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's one thing. Like he was super over, and again at that point, I think you could blame WWE. But WWE did their thing; they brought him back, and now the crowd are very mild towards Rusev. So Rusev needs something.
You know what it is? I think. Do you know what it is? The problem is you have these guys coming back in, and you have these guys in there now that we would define as kind of megastars, and there's a gap there, and it's going to take time to bridge that gap. Because if you look at who's in there at the moment, you've got Cody, you've got Cena, you've got Brock after coming back, you've got Roman, you've got main event Jey Uso, even down into LA Knight, you've got Breaker, you've got Bronson Reed, you've got Seth Rollins, you've got such a stack, and I've probably missed a few as well. You've got such a stack in there as well. And then you've got Dominic Mysterio, you've got AJ Styles, you've got El Grande Americano, you've got all these guys there as well. And then coming back in, then you have Rusev and you have Aleister Black. Everyone knows I'm a massive Aleister Black fan. But trying to find something within that mixture, that cauldron in there of unbelievable talent, it's really difficult. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to go off for 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is and come back straight into the WWE universe and be black and gold Aleister Black. You're not going to come back in and be Rusev on the tank again at that level, challenging John Cena. That's just not going to happen, because that's not the way it works. Because
why do you think they brought back Rusev then? What was the purpose of bringing him back then?
I think it's important to have probably big men in there who can wrestle and who can work. And I think they're really, really important there in terms of building other characters and stuff like that and all. But I think it would be, it's the exposure they get in WWE as well as massive, as superstars and stuff like that. It's just a different level. And some of these guys just find their positioning now. And the thing about it, and I would say, being the opening match on a Raw or being the middle match on a Raw is no big deal. It's amazing. It's still unbelievable. You know, it's like when we talk about WrestleMania and stuff like that. WrestleMania each night is 6 main events. It's not one main event. It's massive to get on those cards and stuff like that, you know. And I just think WWE are very clever in the way that they do things and stuff like that. They slow build it, but they kind of do it in a way where, you know, you did go off to the enemy a little bit, so you're going to have to pay the price for that as well. And that still exists even when it was WCW and stuff like that and all. And I think there's just a timing thing on it. And I think these guys come in and they've been working a certain way. They've been given creative control over there on the other side of the tracks. They come in now and everything is kind of, they're trying to long storyline, long build, longevity, all that kind of stuff. We spoke about Seth Rollins last week and a number of weeks about how he can feud with anyone because nothing ever really ends. That's how long story building is. And I think they have to deal with some of these guys. And I think what happens with them as well, because they don't get that instant gratification that they got in AEW, say where you're doing 3 weeks of TV and then boom, you're in a pay-per-view, or 6 weeks of TV and boom, you're in a pay-per-view. And you're controlling your own narrative, you're controlling your own creative and all that kind of stuff. And now you're back in the system. and trying to have that patience that if you want something good to happen, it can take 3 months, it can take 5 months, it can take 12 months. And they have to build it in a slow kind of way that brings you back up into that, where you're around the Dom and the AJ Styles, and then you're back into, you're trying to jump into that other area there again and make it meaningful, that it's not just a one pitch thing. Like, some of these matches we've seen on John Cena's farewell tour where it's like, this is the last time I'm facing CM Punk, this is the last time I'm facing AJ Styles kind of thing. It needs to be more meaningful for those guys if they truly are back and want to be there. And I think that's the conundrum for them. It's really difficult as well. We've seen it through the Unreal documentary as well. Yeah. They have so much talent. It's insane. It's insane. Like, even you look at even this week, look at what we got. Becky Lynch defeating Maxine Dupree. I know Sean will probably take that one, and Roxanne and Io and stuff like that. But like, who was expecting Maxine Dupree?
No way.
Who was being basically the third or fourth cog in that academy thing and all and stuff like that. Yeah. Suddenly now she's having like a match against Becky Lynch. She's thrust into that IC situation and stuff. All of a sudden, these things suddenly evolve. That's done to test the water and see the reaction and what do they think, and then it flows from there. So that's how I would look at it. So I don't know. I think with Sammy, I think you're right about Sammy. It's a difficult one for him. The guy is super talented. There's no doubt about it. But he just needs. There's just something there that just. Everything he does in the ring is money, and every way he looks isn't.
I like him when he was a heel. I thought he was great.
Yeah, but I don't think Sean's wrong here. I think they've done that. I think they've had all those matches with Kevin Owens. I think they've done all the different swerves and all the different turns. I think he needs a fundamental change. I think he needs different ring gear. I think he needs to be presented in a different way. I think he needs some sort of an image cleanup and stuff like that as well. Because it's real ragball kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And look in this business is a big deal as well, you know what I mean? And just because you've been here for years and you're successful and you're a long-termer and all that, doesn't mean you can just present yourself a certain way. And he's constantly, like, I think over the last 3-4 years, I think his look has got more and more homeless, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? And I just think there's a talent in there. There's no doubt about it. He can sell a storyline. He's phenomenal in what he does. But nothing is inspiring me at the moment to go out and buy a Sami Zayn t-shirt. And that's my gauge. That is my gauge.
But if you look at it as well, like Taker, for instance, when he was a full-time wrestler, he had to change his gimmick over years and become American Badass just to stay with the times. As an example, like.
Well, I think that's different insofar as I think he took away the Undertaker gimmick because it was getting a little bit jaded in terms of the runs it was on and stuff like that. And I think he came into a time where it was kind of like that American Badass gimmick it gave him a kind of an opportunity to nearly be sort of human.
Yeah.
Because if you're going around and you're this guy forever and ever and ever, and remember at that time when we had that as well, we were going through a period in wrestling as well where it was kind of like very cutting edge, very real, all this kind of stuff. I know me and Bren have back and forth on the Wyatt Six and stuff like that and all, and where they fit into the programming and stuff like that and all. And I think somewhat what we're doing is we're going through a little bit of that now as well. You can see the influence of the lucha style within the two brands, obviously feeding into AAA and various stuff like that. You can see the kind of impact that TNA is having and the stuff they're doing there with NXT and on the brands and stuff like that and all. And they're juggling a lot of balls at the moment. And Taker, you can say it with Taker there as well. They found a way to kind of humanize him and back out of that. And then when they brought it back, everyone was all in because then it felt fresh again, Yeah. So that would be my view on the Taker change, stuff like that. And look, it is what it is. Some of that was as weird as it was when he was Taker anyway, wasn't it? Let's take some comments first and then we'll go back in. We'll get Sean's thoughts on the two women's matches. Jilly's in. Hey, folks, a pretty uneventful week in the world of pro wrestling. I did find it amusing how I heard 0 "We want Cross" chants despite him supposed to be incredibly over. We're going to be talking about it, Jilly. It's on the list. Kenny's in. Big up Kenny from last week. Good to see you. Sammy had the opportunity to evolve and change that character in the story with Cross. Maybe Sammy was telling lies that could have springboarded him. It's more Sammy same than Sami Zayn. Very good, Kenny. I like that. I like that. And Romi's in. Big up, Romy. What's happening, my friend? Hope you're good. You're due a visit soon, Romy, as well, aren't you? Aren't you coming here in August? Is there room for one more? There's always room on the bus.
No.
There certainly is room for one more.
Yes.
We're just waiting to see. Where are you? You're not in the background yet. Of course, there's room for one more.
Stay in the background. Stay in the background.
Come into the background there, and you'll be coming
I
on.
won't hear it.
I think ultimately, if there are no plans to put a world title on Sami Zayn, then they just don't know what they are doing. Yeah, I think so. He's in Dublin on Saturday for the Oasis gig. Are you dropping into me? Are you dropping in to say hello and introduce yourself and all that kind of good stuff? Let me know. Let me know. And also, if you can message me, let me know your size, because there's a hat and a shirt there for you, an upper tier one, because you've been a great contributor over the last number of years. So let me know. Drop a size in there, and I will check that out for you. I promise I won't give you a Liverpool one. It'll be just an upper tier one. So there we go. Where's Sean Mack? Or is he hiding? Have we seen him yet? No, he's not in the background, so we keep going. Sean, the two women's matches.
It's Sean O'Rourke's week.
Sorry, the three women's matches, I should say.
Right. First of all, Roxanne Perez and Io Sky, two amazing competitors. Do you know, I actually liked this match. It was kind of a mix of old and new. You know, Io Sky was probably the face of the women's division in NXT at her time, and obviously Roxanne recently being the face of NXT in her time. So I thought it was a great mix to see two different, let's say, generations of NXT in a match together. Overall, I actually thought this was a very good match. It was nice to see the Kabuki Warriors out having a little bit of fun. It was actually quite a good match overall. As I said, I did enjoy it. The two mix very well together, and I'm definitely hoping that we see another match with the two of them down the line again. The end of the match was quite good. I kind of seen it coming. I think everyone kind of saw it coming. But look, that's wrestling for you. Now, Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree. I have to give it to Maxine. Like, I thought she actually did quite well. You can tell the work in the dungeon is paying off, and she is being trained by the best, and it is quite possibly, actually, I would say it's showing. Becky, I'm actually quite enjoying her reign as champion. I think she's actually making quite a good one. I think we spoke about it last week. The entrance music is good, but it's not really fitting like the old music, you know? And I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with having the quote, talking about getting away from Def Rebel and going with other bands, but they're shooting themselves in the foot by putting a quote at the start of the entrance music. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty good match, actually. Quite enjoyed it.
Very good. Very good. Bren, take us home.
The main event. I thought the lads smashed it here. I thought they were everybody was just quality here. Breaker every single week. That man is just unbelievable. Everything from doing the push-ups next, from hitting a move and then doing the push-ups. He's phenomenal. Look, as soon as Seth Rollins said, I'm jumping on a private jet, I knew straight away. I was like, okay, there's going to be shenanigans in the main event. And yeah, it was kind of like the same as the end of last week's Raw. We seen the Vision stand up and they reign supreme. We now have a fatal four-way match, which Seth Rollins is undoubtedly going to win, but it's going to create different things and it's going to create different feuds. So that'll be interesting. The match itself, I enjoyed. Raw was very wrestling heavy, which is really good. Yeah. It's why we're here, and it was solid as a result. And the main event, other than the shenanigans, it didn't really disappoint. I loved at the end when Adam came out and he started going mad, and they zoned in on Seth. And I love the way they're kind of like, you know what, I know where he's going with this one, and you could see Seth saying he's going to say a fatal four-way. So they're not portraying the wrestlers as stupid anymore. He didn't act surprised or anything like that. But yeah, look, solid main event. We have a fatal four-way now for Clash in Paris, which obviously we'll be covering live as it happens.
Question for all three of you. Paul Heyman was on the Errol Helwani show there the other day, and he made a couple of comments that I zoned in on that I found very interesting. He mentioned Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu as the future of the business, and all will be future multiple times WrestleMania main eventers. How do we feel about the comment? Keith, you take it first.
I think, yeah, Braun Breaker's going to be the next face of the company for sure. To be honest with you, he's going to be one that's going to take over Cody, or if it's Roman Reigns or something like that, whoever they think is the number one. I think Jacob Fatu, I don't see him being number one, but yeah, he'd be up there. He would have a world title shot probably next year or the year after, or sometime next year. Because I love him. I think he's just gold, to be honest with you. Everything he does is just brilliant. I don't know about Bronson Reed. Like, he's good, but I can't see him as a top main eventer for the long period, to be honest with you. Again, there's nothing wrong with him. I just think that what's he going to do when they get out of this group eventually that they're in? I wonder what they're going to do then.
Well, we know there's a turn coming, even the week that's in it.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about that too.
I think they're going to do Roman versus Bronson Reed soon. It's either the next pay-per-view or the one after that, probably.
It's a clash.
Yeah.
He wants his runners back.
Yeah, on a fucking pole or something.
He wants to shield a fella back.
But it makes no sense. And then what happens when he gets it back? Like, I completely agree with your analysis there. Bronson Reed, for me, I think he's improved since he hit the group, but I think he has a ceiling. Bronson Reed has a ceiling, and it's up to him to break it. And I always like when I'm wrong about situations like this. But Bronson Reed is going to reach a point where he's going to need his personality and his charisma to carry him. And I think that's where his ceiling's going to be, and that's where he's going to need to improve.
See,
Jacob, the other two.
Sorry for I feel he's good at the moment because he's with big superstars that are helping him, and he's kind of mixing in between everybody. Do you know? So he's not really exposed in what he's doing. But my worry is that when he leaves this group, what's he going to do then? Is he going to get exposed in some things that he's not good at?
I actually thought before he entered the group, I said it numerous times, and I didn't think he was that good. I think what he does is impressive, but that's about it. Like I said, in my opinion, Bronson Reed has a ceiling, and I agree. You look at him before he heads into the group. To me, he just wasn't a big deal. He was just another big dude in a world full of big dudes, and he needs to stand out. You know what I mean? So I do think Jacob Fatu, though, him and Breaker, to me, I've said it week on week, and I'll say it again. Them two are the future. Jacob's a maniac, and so is Breaker. But Breaker has everything. He is the complete package. Every single week, and he's funny. He's charismatic, and the stuff he does in the room. What the hell? I don't know what he does in the room. But no, the stuff he does in the ring. And I wouldn't want to be hit by with a spear by him. Like, even when he was talking to the Undertaker, was it about hitting I Show Speed? That was hilarious. Did you see that interview?
Oh yeah.
He was telling, now make sure you're throwing around I Show Speed. I don't think he's ever going to get into a wrestling again. And power to him. Anyway, sorry I went on a bit.
Roll me in. You know who'd suit Seth's group more than Bronson would have been Rusev. Rufus slinging like a fart on the roster.
The thing about Rusev is, I think, so I've been critical of Rusev since he's come back. I think he's one match away from getting over again. And I think if they put him and Sheamus on the main stage in maybe a 3 stages of hell match or something like that, you know what I mean? First match this, second match this, and then the decider. I think if they do that and they shake hands at the end and they capitalize on that, Rusev has a way forward. Because I'd like to see him do well. But
surely a Dublin 3 fight next week on SmackDown would be cool.
Or a Henry Street hiding. That's what I thought. That's what I'm thinking as well. We'll see.
There we go. Right, let's have a quick one.
What do you make of the Io Sky and Asuka thing that they're doing? It looks like they're going to be turning Asuka heel by the looks of it, because she was heavily on Raw there, Io Sky, for a while this week.
It's very strange. They started to drop those seeds before the match, and then you knew it was going to happen then after the match. It's odd. I don't know. We'll see
I
what
think
happens there. But
I think when they put those girls together, I think there's less of an interest than when they're feuding with other girls on the roster.
Yeah.
I think there's more of an interest in the Kabuki Warriors when they're out there wrestling the likes of a Rhea or a Charlotte or whatever it is than there is when there's an implosion within them. That's just my view, because I think what happens is you get a different dynamic there in style. So if you have a Rhea in there against a Neo or against a Asuka, or if you have a Naomi in there against a Kairi Sane or whatever it is, it just brings a different dynamic to it that I don't think you get if you have Asuka in there versus Io. I think you'll get a really, really good match. I think it'll be really interesting. But I think more often than not, what it will do is it will revert back to kind of a Japanese style kind of match, which doesn't necessarily sit in the American market with the crowds that they go to. That's all. Listen, it's still a fabulous match, but it's more a kind of it's more rather than get emotionally invested in it. It's more of a sit down and analyze it for the technical side of it and what it is. And I think that's where that sometimes can come a bit unstuck. Asuka's a fantastic wrestler and stuff like that, but she needs a Charlotte or a Becky or a something where you can really drag those other layers under that onion peel out of her. Because otherwise what happens is when they're feuding against each other, you're just getting surface level kind of stuff. Yeah. Quality kind of technical wrestling, but surface level kind of stuff in terms of getting us emotionally invested and wanting to see it. And I think that's a really important point, I think. So that's just my view on it anyway. You can let me know yours.
Can we just highlight the last comment?
Please, yeah.
What a man. What a man.
They're all in the chat here just pulling on Sean's heartstrings. That's all that is.
He's after walking off. We're gonna have to get Sean Mack in. Is Sean Mack still out there?
I'm after putting it in the chat. I'm waiting for him to shop now, unless he just came out. Just grabbing a bite to eat. We'll be there short. Oh, perfect. So he's coming on. Perfect.
So I'd like to inform everyone of my last week on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. Good luck and good night.
And here's the link for the new channel, Total Irish Divas.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, or you could just call it the Piss Break channel.
Or can we just send her to Love Island so we have to fucking look at her anymore?
That's a problem in a house like I live in. They're all mad into Love Island, so we'll still see it on my screen. That's a real problem. Yeah. Sean's giving us his Mount Rushmore. Ballard, Joe, Gargano, and KO. Nice.
There's no real wrong answer here. Like I've seen a few of them today. I put it out on the TikTok machine, and a few people kind of came back with some of theirs, and it's some interesting answers, but there's no wrong answer there. Unbelievable talent. Oh my lord. I'm not the tallest myself, so I mean that.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly not bragging. I'm 5'9" and slowly dropping. That's what age does you. Right, Triple Mania coming up this weekend. Looks like a fantastic card. I really like the way it's integrated into the WWE as well. There's a bit more in this now. It's a bit more media that we can get into and stuff like that. So quick rundown on the matches and stuff like that. If you just want to chat about that, that's in there. I still think that potentially the tag team street fight could steal the show here. I seen the Garzas last time and they were absolutely phenomenal. If you remember the show that was in, it was in Los Angeles, wasn't it? As far as I know. But my man is back as well. Obviously, Mr. Iguano, he's back on the card, so that's what we want to see, which is always good. And it's going to be the Judgment Day, along with Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Mr. Iguana, Nino Hamburguesa, which I presume is some sort of, I don't know, like what, and Lola Voice. So there you go. So I'm looking forward to that. Top billing, obviously, Vikingo versus Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. We obviously got a semi sort of preview of that seller on Raw this week as well. Pretty good. Latin American Championship as well. El Hido, the Dr. Wagner Jr., El Messias. I'm doing well here on this pronunciation, lads. I'll tell you, I have to say, I didn't even practice. Natalia's in there as well in the triple threat. And of course, the big one that I mentioned earlier, Conan being inducted into the AAA Hall of Fame by Rey Mysterio. Don't sleep on that. That is a huge event. Just because, it's a big deal. a big deal. So I'm really looking forward to this. 2 a.m. on a Sunday, which is always a rough one for a start. And it's on WWE's YouTube channel, so free as well. So we'll probably catch it the next day. I don't think I'll be up at 2 a.m. watching it, but I'm certainly really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a stellar show. I'm looking at the top 3 matches have everything going for them, I have to say, and I think they'll absolutely knock it out of the park. Really excited to see the Judgment Day in there working as well, so that's going to be really cool.
Can I just say as well, one of the man of the matches on Raw for me was Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee is unbelievable. I cannot wait to see this. He's incredible, an absolute joy to watch.
Was brilliant on the last one as well.
Jeez.
Mr. Grant, it looks like my nutsack when one Halloween I went painted as the Incredible Hulk, but the lad is dead on. Good to watch wrestle, to be fair. There we go. What can I say? All good. So yeah, look forward to that. So make sure you check it out. Right. Let's get on to what a lot of people have arrived on. First of all, we're going to talk, before we get into this, obviously, WrestleMania Saudi Arabia, which is the billing on the thumbnail and stuff like that. What did we make of the whispers, the murmurings, and all coming out? Sean, what's your thoughts?
I think it's killer. In my opinion, I think you bring WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia. I think that's just absolutely shooting yourself in the foot. And I think it's even more shooting yourself in the foot if you do, as I think we talked about earlier, 2 WrestleManias, your regular WrestleMania, and then whatever greatest WrestleMania or greater WrestleMania. That'd be absolutely shooting yourself in the foot. I think it'd take away completely from WrestleMania being the biggest event of the year. I think it'll just make it feel like any other pay-per-view of the year. I'm open to it. I suppose it's one of those things, don't knock it before you try it. So if they do Mania in Saudi Arabia, I suppose I won't mind, but I might not enjoy it. Look, that's just my opinion.
I think before you guys chime in, I think I'd rather they just, and I know WrestleMania is our Super Bowl, and some things just shouldn't be touched. But I think if they are going to go ahead with Saudi Arabia, I think they should just decide to do a WrestleMania over there and don't have this greatest WrestleMania like that Royal Rumble thing.
Agreed.
Because I think that really watered things down. I did have an idea on it, and I spoke to Bren about it as well. WrestleMania 2, they broadcast from 3 different locations. And my thoughts was, could you do something which would be absolutely amazing if they could do this? And if anyone could pull it off, WWE could pull it off. If you had 3-night WrestleMania, which would be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. And you did one night 1 maybe. I'd say night 1 maybe in London, night 2 in Saudi Arabia, and night 3 somewhere in the States, that it culminates in the States. So we still keep that kind of foundation of it there. But this would take so much planning, so much to do. And I think if they did it that way, it may not feel like, obviously we'd get that European kick from it if it was in London or Dublin or wherever you want to have it. But I think what it would do is it might not feel as bad if it culminates that last night of everything. And if that last night has a lot of jeopardy in it coming from the other 2 nights, and that it still culminates in the States. So you still kind of get that last quarter in the Super Bowl where things tend to happen. And maybe if they structured it that way, it might work for us. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think even, I don't know, as much as I'd love to see a big pay-per-view in Croke Park, I don't even know whether WrestleMania in Croke Park would kind of sit right for me. I still think it would feel a little bit weird, even though it's 20 minutes of my gaff. I don't think WrestleMania in London would feel the way WrestleMania feels to me when I go to them in the States. I still think it would feel a little bit kind of strange. And I have that same feeling for Saudi as well. So it's not just a Saudi thing.
See, my issue with it is that I don't mind if it's every 10 years that you go to Saudi. But my issue is that because they're going back to Vegas next year again, and we all know it's just because of the money, are they going to do WrestleMania constantly now through God knows how many years just at Saudi? That's my fear. If they're going to be doing it 2027, every year is going to be at Saudi because that's where the money is. That's my only.
Well, listen, the money this year was in Vegas. The money next year will be in Vegas. Listen, every single move they make now is money. So let's not get that twisted, because it's merchandise is money, food is money, bidding for these events is money, PLEs is money. They're even crowbarring in, I believe, PLE in September to go against All Out. And apparently the main event's going to be Cena versus Brock. So like they're not messing around here in the way they move in terms of money. I don't think it would be a continual kind of thing, because I don't think the fan base would allow it to happen that way. I think even the fan base is a little bit up in arms that Mania is back in Vegas this year or next year. You know what I mean? Ralmy's in. WrestleMania Saudi. I'd rather air from my head. Kenny, RIP WrestleMania. If this Saudi nonsense is allowed to happen, there's nothing sacred anymore. I'm sick of these Saudis trying to monopolize sports. Yeah,
I think the 3-night WrestleMania in different countries would be really cool, as long as Triple H doesn't abandon his wrestlers in one country and feck off with all the money and they're stuck there, you know. Pull a Vince.
The only issue with that is I'd be wrecked after 2 nights. This is a personal thing. I don't need a third night. All right. Look, here's the thing. WWE are going to do what they're going to do. Okay. And like Niall said, it's all about the money, right? So to me, it's it's about looking at the pros if they do it. Pro, WrestleMania is in Saudi, we get it at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? If they do 2 nights in Saudi, we get 6 o'clock on a Saturday, we get it at 6 o'clock on a Sunday. I think Gilly McPaddy. What did Gilly say? I'd be annoyed that if it came to Saudi Arabia before I came to Europe. I totally agree with that. I think we deserve it more than they do, but it's not about who deserves it. It's about where the money is. And I think Sean says it down there as well. It wasn't about WrestleMania. He said what Croker wanted for, and I know we're not talking about WrestleMania Dublin. We're talking about WrestleMania in Europe. I understand that. But again, they're not going to get the money here that they're going to make over in Saudi. And that's what they're driven by. So I think, look, they're going to do what they're going to do. And we need to kind of look at the pros. Do I fully agree with it? No. But look, am I still going to watch it? You're damn right I'm going to watch it.
But see, the issue with WrestleMania as well, we can't forget as well, it's not what they're going to pay. It's what we'd have to pay to get it here. Because remember, this is all based on a bidding and an auction thing in order to land it. You know what I mean? So they're not going to get into a conversation about how much Crow Park costs. That's someone else's problem. We're bringing you WrestleMania. We're bringing you the Super Bowl of this industry, and we're going to plonk it in there, and we're going to boost your economy by X amount of hundreds of millions or whatever it is. Everyone is going to fly in from every corner of the world. There won't be a hotel room empty. You know, bars, clubs, pubs, everything. The kick is unbelievable. So that's what they would be looking at. I think in relation to the Crown Jewel thing, I think the Crown Jewel thing is just, in terms of the way they present it, is getting a little bit stale. And I don't mean the presentation of the show, which is always phenomenal, but I mean the concept behind it and
it's just too oversaturated.
And the history of it. Yeah, well, not that's even oversaturated, but it's just like, I think maybe it might even be the name, because you know when we hear, okay, next month, lads, it's Crown Jewel, everyone goes, oh. But then we go and we watch it, and the presentation is WrestleMania level, you know, and the crowd have bought into it so much and everything and stuff like that as well. So I think it's just the fact that maybe it's even just the name, because we hear Crown Jewel and we go, oh, that Saudi event again. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but then we watch it and we go, no, that was a decent pay-per-view. You know, this is what happens. So yeah, it's just a different thought on it. Yeah, Sean, we took Sean's on the croaker. I've seen better atmosphere at a morgue than them Saudi shows. They've changed a lot. The last couple of Saudi shows now, the
last one was good,
the atmosphere has been phenomenal. This is not the same as when they were just lying around on the couches and didn't give a shit about wrestling. This is like the crowd are mental for it now, you know. Yeah. What I meant to say was I thought Crown Jewel was more their version of WrestleMania. I think originally maybe that was the thinking. But you can see now with the King and Queen of the Ring and the way things are evolving over there and stuff like that. And, you know, I think it was obviously going to evolve more. And this, when it comes to a bidding war for WrestleMania, I mean, no one's going to take out the Saudis.
I'm surprised they haven't gone back to Canada, though, for WrestleMania. It's been since, what, 18? Since
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a crowd as well. What a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, you always got. I mean, you've seen it there. Look, you seen it there the other night as well. The crowd is always phenomenal and stuff like that as well. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think WrestleMania is one of those things. Like you wouldn't play the Super Bowl in Saudi Arabia. You know, you wouldn't play the baseball. You know, the World Series. You know, in Saudi Arabia. I don't know unless it's massive. Like I'm talking money beyond we can even comprehend. Well, they upped their game in 21. Yeah, absolutely. Have women dressed like Power Rangers or WrestleMania when it's their time to go bigger, dress up bigger. I do think bringing the Rumble over is a testing the waters kind of thing. It is. It is. Very much so. Very much so, I would say. Interesting. And it's interesting. I think is Crown Jewel going to Australia? Am I right?
Perth.
So see what they're trying to do there is they're trying to take Crown Jewel, which is normally associated with Saudi, and move that around. So it's not kind of tagged that way from what we spoke about, you know. I think it's because it went from glorified house shows to shows that are actually important for storylines. Follow on, yeah, and input and stuff like that. Yeah. Spot on, Jilly. I wouldn't play a game of handball in Saudi. Well, with your carry on, you mightn't have hands long enough over there to play handball in Saudi. That's what I'm saying. Roll me.
This is a controversial show.
There you go.
Burning flags. Hands
cut off. We'll park it for the moment and we'll see how it evolves. I don't think they'd go the route of having the whole show over there. I think they might go the route of having part of the show over there. And we've seen that logistically they can pull these things off. I mean, remember, they did a Crown Jewel over there, and the next night they were doing a show in Dublin in the Tree Arena. So, like, it can be done, but it would take a lot of logistics and a lot of planning and stuff like that. But if you were potentially going to have the greatest WrestleMania, like if you did 3 locations, 3 nights simultaneously, like, you know,
I think the first thing to do is to drop the word the greatest. Because anytime they put the greatest, let's face it, we remember the greatest Royal Rumble for one thing. The fall. Oh, okay.
I'm only messing.
Yes. You got me. I was like, damn it. I was like, I don't remember that. Titus O'Neil falling straight under the ring. The greatest wrestling match of all time was not Edge versus Randy Orton. It wasn't. So drop the word the greatest. Definitely is the first thing they need to do.
Was the Titus trip a real trip or a work?
It's a great question. To be honest, I thought it looked real. Like, hey, listen, I love when wrestling fools me. And if they did, power to them. It
had to be 100% of work, because that area underneath the ring is normally packed with a lot of stuff, and you don't slide under there like that. And also, where he went right under the middle there's normally a supporting bar there. So in order for him to slide in there and down that rabbit hole the way he did, that area would have had to be cleared. So,
sometimes I don't need to know how the sausage is made. I'm going to continue to believe that he fell and it's legit.
That's okay. You're of that age. WrestleMania in Wembley is long overdue. Not far from me. I could literally piss off the stadium and it's that close. Lesnar has now joined the chat after I said that. Good Lord. Cleared name. Right. The one you guys want to talk about. Karrion Kross. I know this is going to lit up. Sliding is like me back in the days on the MSN. DM days. Like it. Karrion Kross. What are we thinking, lads, here? Is this lad left the building? I had a theory that I think he's taking a bit of time off because he had a few commitments in relation to the book tour and various things. And maybe they wanted to dampen things down a little bit and then bring him back. And the comeback would be a big deal. Hopefully a much bigger deal than Ron Cena or R-Truth or whatever, as we all spoke about and stuff like that. But what did you make? Brian, kick us off. Karrion Kross.
I think if it is a work, I think they're going to have to stop that. They're going back to the well too many times on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
But in saying that, I actually think it is a work. I think they've probably gone so deep into it now, and they're probably looking at all of the people saying, look, this is a work. We know it's a work, that they're probably the separation's probably going to be a little bit longer. But I suspect that there will be some kind of a comeback. So I 100% think that this is a work. There's more publicity in him getting released as his documentary and his book. He just dropped a documentary. He just dropped a book. He's going to get more publicity out of being released for the WWE, shining a bigger light on them. Hopefully, in his head, pushing them up. And then when he comes back, he's bigger than ever. I don't think this is legitimate. It's 100% of work. I think they're all in on it. And that's just my opinion. What do you think, lads? How are you, Sean?
Hang on. I think you just told me that Titus O'Neil really tripped.
Titus O'Neil, look, it's still real to me, damn it. All right, firstly. All right, so jot that down. But secondly, no, you got me there. But either way, this is a work all day long. I can't see it being any other way, because why would you let something go like that? Now, Gilly did say that there was no We Want Cross chance, and that is a bit interesting. But I also heard on the flip side that there was We Want Cross signs confiscated before Raw as well. So does that. And they can actually damp down the sound of the crowd at times as well. So, but then Montreal is a pretty hard place to do that. Look, it's a work. That's look, it's a bloody work. I don't care what anyone says.
No one wanted to be that guy last night. That guy on his own doing that chant. You'll see them all next Friday. You know, those loners on your own. Sean Mack, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice birthday and all that. Folks, in the chat, if you can throw in there, we want some birthday cake and candles and claps for Sean's birthday. For Sean, so show your appreciation.
It's Sean's dad's birthday.
Oh, Sean's dad's birthday. Yeah. So there you go. So for Sean's
dad, get your dad in. Get your dad. Come on. Where's Son?
No, he hates pro wrestling, and he says he hates the show especially. So I wouldn't.
Where does he live?
I can't disclose any information. I don't know what you
tell us. This you went and seen Weapons. Any good? Recommend?
Yeah, really good. Quite mental. Yeah, quite mental. Quite gory. Would recommend. But first of all, thank you, Niall. Hello, Bren. Hello, Keith. First time meeting you. You're doing a great job. I got to watch from the stands. And Sean, thank you very much for having me again. I apologize for being late. Unfortunately, my dad's birthday celebrations had to come to the forefront. But I'm here now. The show's been great, and I'm not sure how to feel about Karrion Kross. If I was a promoter and I saw, oh wait, him and Scarlett are taking bookings, that's great because I have a show coming up. And then you book him, and then it turns out, actually, no, it's a work. I'm going to be back at WWE. I'd be like, okay, where's my money? What are you going to tell all the people that bought tickets now that you're not coming because it's work? I don't think he would put out that he's accepting bookings, or Scarlett would do that if this is work.
But is it not uncommon for WWE to allow, like, it wouldn't be out of the realms, especially these days, for WWE to allow him to work some independent dates to further pass the storyline?
Well, yeah, he could accept a booking at AAA. He could accept a booking at TNA. That's not a problem.
That'd be too on the nose.
Is there anything here? Is there anything here on the Triple Mania card where he could show up and cause himself to be a nuisance?
I think it'd be too soon if he did that. I think then everybody would roll their eyes if he came back to
even just sit in the crowd with a Justice for Cross sign or something on the T-shirt or something like that.
Did you know what though? I was thinking about this, and it's like, if people are going to be up in arms about Cross, right? I hope it's not this groundswell that just disappears straight away. Like, where's the R-Truth people? Where's everybody that wanted R-Truth?
They're in the bar with Ron Killens.
No, but it's like,
did I not predict this when this kicked off? I told you that after a week, no one's going to give a shit.
And that's what happened, and that's frustrating to me, because it's like, it's flavor of the month. It's let's jump on the trend train. We shouldn't be jumping on trend trains. If we're behind people, let's get behind them. What did she say?
She said the same thing, like R-Truth, that you come back. You have to have something meaningful for them to come back to and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get us in and stuff like that. Is there? There's certainly not the wave out there that we got with R-Truth. Sure, there isn't. I haven't seen it at that level.
I think there's a bit of legs more to this, to be honest, with this Karrion Kross. I think you're going to see more to it than we're know at the moment. But I think what's going to happen is that, like Bren said, like you can't really keep going down the same well for this the whole time. If something happens, it's like a wrestler's contract goes out and you're doing the exact same thing that Kross, well, what's happening to Kross now. I do hope he comes back, because it makes no sense for him not to come back, because he's super popular with the fans. He has the look, he has the height, he's decent in the ring, and he's very good on the mic. He has everything that WWE wants. So my worry is that, like, how long are they going to prolong this, and when's going to be the time to, bring him back? That's what I want, because I don't know if they're going to leave it so long that the fans don't give a fuck then anymore, or if this, I don't know.
That's another problem that WWE have sometimes. They don't strike the iron when it's hot, or their timing is a bit off. We spoke about this on the show previously. And this is going to be all about timing, in my opinion. But again, it comes back to every time somebody's released then, or somebody of that stature is released, and it could be legit, they can't keep messing with us like that. It's weird. Like it's becoming too predictable, like at this stage. And
yeah.
And like that, if it's only for a week of people saying we want this person, it's not worth it. Hopefully you're right, Keith, and hopefully this has more legs.
I think it does, to be honest. It's just, I cannot see him not coming back. Like, I cannot see him going to AEW or TNA or one of these companies. Now, there's nothing wrong with those companies, but it's just, he will thrive so much more in WWE than he would in the other companies, I think, because he just has everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what does he do if he comes back? By the way, what does he do? Where do you put him?
Well, because he's so over, like, that's the thing. Like, where would you put him? Like, would you put him straight in to the main event scene, or would you just give him the IC title and then, like, that meant something? Like, that was a working man's title. So would you build him from there and then give him a shot then towards the end of the year because he's still red hot around Survivor Series? Or I don't know what you would do with him, really, at the top of my head, to be honest. But he is one of the hottest people in there, and his merchandise sells like crazy. So I just think they need to be careful with this, really, and not leave it too long to bring him back.
When we say he's over and stuff like that, now, are we saying in a legitimate kind of way, or are we saying that, okay, everyone loves, and I spoke about this before, his work outside of the ring ropes, his social media, the way he does stuff and all, he has down to a T. But this wave that we're saying where he's over and stuff, is this based on the narrative that was put out there that you had the contract countdown and that people were trying to set a narrative there in terms of making it a big deal in order for a new contract to be signed and that kind of thing? Or are we like if he had signed a new contract a month ago, new 2-3 year contract, whatever it is, both him and Scarlett, would that wave still be there? Or is this a wave
building over time?
Is this like, because let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Until R-Truth was fired or let go, or whatever way you want to talk about it, no one really cared to that point. They cared to a point insofar as he was there a long, long time. He should be treated a certain way and all this kind of thing. But how much did people actually really care? And for me, and I said it when it happened, when they bring him back, that will be the acid test as to whether people really, really care. And it died on its feet.
Yeah. I feel like it was kind of one of those things that, you see the trains leaving the station. So once one person gets on it, everyone wants to jump on the train,
So how do we feel? Yeah. So how do we feel about Karrion Kross? Sean Mack, you're in. Talk to me. Karrion Kross, how do you feel about this and this wave that's happened over the last, say, 2 months or whatever it is?
I understand the comparisons with Ron Killings or Truth, but he was released very suddenly, completely out of nowhere for no valid reason whatsoever. Meanwhile, Karrion Kross somehow got picked up by the fans because they recognized the work he was doing is really good. And then, oh my God, if you know, you know.
Yeah, we do know.
Yeah, we know far too well. But then WWE kind of made efforts to slowly phase Kross into obscurity again. And I think most people saw the writing was on the wall when A, he lost to Sami Zayn, and B, him and Scarlett got added to the alumni section of WWE.com, and their entrance music got taken off of Spotify. And those are things you don't do unless the people involved aren't with the company anymore. But I think with Karrion Kross, as you said, Niall, outside the ring, like, he's really clever. He's quite funny. He's so soft-spoken, incredibly well-spoken. And I don't feel that ever really translated into his on-screen character. And it's a shame because he is a really talented guy. But I don't see any way back for him, because it feels like this was a last chance for him. He was in the Last Chance Saloon. But this new wave of him being over and him, getting cross chats by single-digit people and selling huge amounts of merch, all that came from his own hard work. I don't think that was necessarily WWE. So we will have to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see either of them back for a long time. Not in WWE anyway.
Yeah, I kind of felt maybe he has a number of projects going on and stuff like that, and obviously he has the book launch and the tour and all that kind of stuff, and he's working on other projects outside of WWE as well. So maybe it's a case, maybe he goes off for 3 or 6 months and he takes care of that side of stuff, and then maybe he comes back in. But as Jilly said, and I think Romy as well, you need to have something meaningful that we can get our teeth into, because quite frankly, and I've said it already before, and I've said it on a number of podcasts, when he steps through the ropes, at times he disappoints me. That Sami Zayn match was terrible. And it really looked like a match from a guy who was heading out the door. It didn't look like a guy who was working a release situation where he's going to be back in a couple of weeks and stuff like that, because those kind of matches that we see there, and what was a phenomenal SummerSlam weekend, that match sticks out in people's minds and they don't necessarily forget it or let it slide. And I was really disappointed. That was probably my biggest disappointment in SummerSlam, was Zayn and Kross. I think we all nearly agreed on that, didn't we?
Don't think the feeling on our watch along was very positive, if I recall, and I do recall because I was there. It was just a nothing match. Like, what was it? Like 5, maybe 6 minutes. Not much. It was basically they didn't have enough for SummerSlam, so they put a Raw match on the card. But we wanted a pay-per-view match, and they gave us a telly match that blows off into the next feud, but doesn't. Yeah. With White, that's the thing. Like, he's such an underrated mind, really intelligent, but that never translated to Karrion Kross. You see, Kevin Robert Kazar, such an underrated mind, and clever and intelligent and well-spoken. That never translated and got passed over to Karrion Kross.
And that's what we said, didn't we? A couple of podcasts back, we turned around, we said, to have such a great mind and be so clever at developing all these other things, and then when you step through the ropes, it's the same old. Like, how do we? This is what we spoke about. We spoke about how does he bring the dynamic of what he's doing there into the Karrion Kross character, and with Scarlett development, we spoke about how Scarlett could become that new Sherry Martel and all that kind of stuff and all. We spoke about how Kross needed to, really go Triple H sledgehammer crazy kind of character, kind of guy and stuff like that. And it just, obviously, we spoke about it in the latter stages. It was 3-4 weeks ago on the podcast, so you don't always get that type of time. But I don't know, maybe WWE looked at this and they said, look, we know all this other stuff is brilliant, but all this other stuff is kind of irrelevant to us. What we're saying is we're seeing a guy coming through the ropes who has all the luck in the world, who has Scarlett there as the fella who looks $1 million, who shouldn't be failing, but for one reason or another, just can't seem to make it happen. We seen the issue when they called out on the back bumps, and then the next match he does 8 or 9 of them. So it's kind of the cart pulling the horse really at times and stuff like that. And I likened it the other day as well, a bit kind of like Zack Ryder. You can have this wave out there on the internet, and you can have all that following out there on the internet, but trying to get that to translate through those ropes into WWE is the measure of the superstar, and that's for me where the problem lied. Anyone else want to add?
I think your comparison's spot on. There's been hype behind Carrion for so long, for so many different times, and I think sometimes he was just set up for disaster. When he came back as a gladiator at one stage, that was ridiculous. But even at that, there was always so much hype behind him, and maybe he just hasn't lived up to the hype every time push came to shove. So yeah, maybe I can see that. How long does the groundswell last? Probably not that long. It'll probably go quicker than it did for R-Truth.
And then that's a real problem, because what that does is then that nearly justifies the Fed in its moves, because it's saying this was just a contract countdown pity party.
Yeah, and look, you said it earlier on as well. The WWE have such a powerful roster. You have to you have to excel in everything where it matters. And unfortunately, I guess in this case, he literally doesn't stand out unless he has that sympathy. My contract is ending kind of deal. So yeah, maybe you're onto something.
But it's like as if even the sympathy wave in there and stuff like that, it's not even organic. It's like he chases it. It's like he wants. It's like as if he nearly wants to play the victim character all the time, where he should be the Punisher.
Yeah,
he should be the guy that has a roster in there where he's creating victims as he goes along. That dark kind of character. Whereas he's using the internet to create to create him being the victim. And him being the victim just doesn't wash with me, because he looks unbelievable. He has everything to be successful, except he can't translate it into the ring for one reason or another. That's my view on it. I mean, we know. Look, how much of a difference is there between him and Triple H in terms of look?
A beard, no, long hair, full stop.
Look, no, but I mean in terms of when I'm talking about when Triple H was wrestling and had the long hair and had the sledgehammer and all that. See the difference. The gap is gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't think there's anything more we can say on that. I think you've hit the nail on the head, because he's got, like, if he does come back and I am right and it is a work, I think that's where the work will begin for him. And I think what happens next then, and in all honesty, I get the feeling he'll probably just fall flat in his face.
But the thing about it is he's not a young wrestler as well. He is in his 40s. That's another thing.
40 is incredibly young.
Well, do you know what I mean? Like, he could maybe have another 4 or 5 years left in him, do you know?
No, when he messed.
We say that about Bray as well, but Bray, when called upon or if wanted, could be potentially very good in the ring. I think what he did was he wrestled the kind of style that suited the characters. But you got to remember with Bray as well. I mean, let's not get that twisted. We all love Bray Wyatt and we all miss him so much and stuff like that. But how many gimmicks was thrown at that wall as well to get stuff to stick and where it was going, stuff like that. And let's not come on here and say, okay, well, we loved the Randy Orton match with the hologram on the ring and all that kind of stuff.
That was terrible.
We didn't like that. You know, we didn't like it. It was just horrific. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain elements in there that we just didn't like. And, you know, like, we can't get that twisted either. We can't ignore it. Triple H give Cross your biker shorts. That'll get him over like Rover. Remember he came out in the cycle shorts. Yeah, absolutely. But there you go. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. If anyone wants to give any other thoughts on it, fire away. You know what I mean? I want the guy. You heard how passionate I was about him 4 weeks ago on the podcast. I want him to knock it out of the park. I want him to tear through the roster. I want her to become an absolute lunatic. And that's what I wanted on screen. You look at that picture even there now, that picture where it has the statement from him. Look at the look he gives you there. Now, she's in the background, but look at the look he gives you there. Is that the look of a guy that you see transcending into the guy that steps through the ropes? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
And to me, that's a problem. This guy has everything to be a megastar. He just can't find that button to switch on that link. And that's the problem. And as we said, that wave will run out very quick. You know what I mean? It'll hang around for a bit because they're both very, very clever on social media and something that they really excel at. There's no doubt about that. So that will keep it around a little bit longer, where R2 kind of went away. He was relying on other people on social media to spin his narrative and stuff. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Make sure, folks, make sure you're still dropping in. There we go. Cross could do the devil advocate gimmick like Sean O'Hare. 100%. 100%. 100%. And most people bought into that guy. Rest in peace, Sean O'Hare. Rest in peace. Right. Couple of other headlines in there. Some we might have covered. Obviously, we covered Cross, confiscating the carrying Cross signs and stuff. That's an interesting one. Sean Mack, what do we make of WWE with a secret PLE in September that's going up against All Out? Apparently, the main event is going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Sounds very convenient, doesn't it? AEW All Out September 20th, and then actually, wouldn't it be great if we did a show on that very same day at the same time? But the thing is, if this is actually what's going to happen, normally when AEW and WWE are head to head, it's always an NXT show. So it's probably not so it's probably not the end of the world if you miss it and watch it the next day. But Brock and John Cena, as much as I have still some conflicted feelings about Brock Lesnar being here, is a money match. They're two huge, I was going to say box office, but that's the thing in the past now, especially because UFC, probably one of the last sports that still use pay-per-view, isn't doing that next year. But it's a draw. People are going to see Brock Lesnar and John Cena and go, oh my God, yeah. I remember their great matches like Extreme Rules 2012, where everything was great up until the final bell rang. Remember seeing a bled a gusher, and then did I might not come back, but anyway, thanks guys, safe home, and then back next night like nothing happened. Don't know what the funny thing about that. That was the year he lost to Rocket Mania, and they tried to frame that as like a huge downward spiral, the worst year of his career, kind of like what Bailey's on right now, like completely just hopeless, nothing positive to look forward to. In 2012, he won the title again. He faced UFC Brock Lesnar and won. He did, was that the year he did won Money in the Bank as well? Am I thinking?
2012.
Yeah. Mike, what a horrible...
he won it by accident.
Yeah. Like poor John Cena. I mean, how he didn't quit. He's an inspiration to all.
But by Cena's standards, standards,
how he didn't even hang him up.
Good shout out there from Romy as well. That Raven's Deadly Sins gimmick and stuff like that. So see what I'm talking about here. In the space of 5 minutes of talking about Karrion Kross, straight away in the chat and us talking, we've all come up with really good ideas for what we could do with Karrion Kross. You know what I mean? So there you go. That puts the gap out there.
But the thing is, if Raven couldn't do that, there's no way Kross could pull it off either, to be honest. I think Raven's just as good as
but Raven was round his own boat at the time. Karrion Kross, if they buy in, has that machine behind them that's capable of doing it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got carried away reminiscing about the awful 2012 John Cena had. But I think it's a big match. If it was up to me, I probably actually would have done this instead of Logan and Cena in Paris. Anyone except Logan Paul, I think, would have been a bigger money match for John Cena. And look, All Out is one of their biggest shows of the year. So if you're going to put on a PLE to counteract it and to get people who are going to watch that to turn over and watch Netflix, you need a big match. And I think this is it.
I was allowed to do it. He was on Sunday Night Heat. Oh, there is the comment. There is the comment. There you go. There you go. They need to bring Heat and Velocity back. That's the issue. That's the issue. There we go.
Yeah, there's definitely not enough wrestling on in the week.
No.
Certainly this next topic I have to hear from Bren and from Sean Mack. Cena has named his soulmates in wrestling: Randy Orton, Edge, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles, and of course Cody Rhodes. Are we missing anyone? Is there anyone you would add? Is there anyone he missed?
Edge.
Edge is mentioned. Edge is in there. Yeah, it's down the bottom here. See down the bottom?
Edge is there.
Sorry, yeah.
Cope isn't.
The Miz.
Yeah, he's there. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Adam Copeland.
there's definitely more there.
Kurt Angle.
Brock maybe.
Yes, Kurt Angle's a
Kurt
good
Angle,
shout.
definitely.
Great show.
Great shout. RVD. Like RVD at the one night stand was unbelievable.
Yeah, but we're talking about guys here who had probably multiple stuff with them on multiple
Not just
occasions.
the one-off match.
Not a one-shot wonder kind of thing, you know.
Not a one-night
There's
stand.
definitely more.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'd definitely put
That-
Kurt
that
Angle
was-
in there if he was able to wrestle again.
100%
Kurt
Kurt
Angle,
Angle.
maybe
Triple H.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels. 100% Shawn Michaels. The matches
Batista.
they did were deadly. Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie.
Did he mention
Jesus.
Dwayne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. What I don't think he'd mention him after that fiasco.
Oh no,
That minor inconvenience that happened in March. Again, probably can't
I was
say.
gonna say Nikki. I was gonna say Nikki.
No.
Yeah. There's one or two exceptions missing, but I think everyone there is perfectly valid. I was just thinking, is there anyone who we had like a really long amount of matches with? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Randy Orton, and he's first on the list. So I think if you get that,
Alex Riley, joking. Don't mention
I actually liked
the word.
Alex
No, you
Riley.
know. Me too.
Miz.
Me too.
So did I.
Yeah, Sean mentioned Miz. Sean mentioned Miz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Sean, didn't hear you. Yeah, I mean everyone here is fine. Like Randy Orton, quantity over quality. Edge literally made any child who liked John Cena's life a living hell. CM Punk.
Do you remember the TLC match they had?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think actually, if I remember, Cena was meant to turn heel there. So the way he looked kind of vacant and a bit disappointed when he won. He tried to pass that off as, man, what a great match. I feel sorry for Edge, but he's like, oh, it's not going to work out. So that could have been. But yeah, Edge, Punk, Rollins, that match he had with him at SummerSlam in 2015 was brilliant. But there seems to, Batista not being on there is really weird. Maybe, I don't know.
I think what we can agree on is that, and I'm genuine, I mean this, John Cena is genuinely the greatest of all time. From a consistency basis, from how long he was on top. Look at the era that he carried on his shoulders. John Cena has a list of soulmates bigger than that. And to me, in my opinion, he is the greatest of all time. There's no denying it from every angle. He's carried the company through highs and lows. He's sold all the merchandise and he's put on the crackers of a match. And him and Cody at SummerSlam was probably match of the year. Jesus the Stabber. Carlitos, me.
Instead of ringing the guards, he had a match with him.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
There we go. Jesus.
Oh, that's quality.
Imagine.
The police can't be that useless in America that you say, he tried to kill me. I could just Friday night. See
Sean Mack, Netflix is the worst thing to ever happen to the American police. All those documentaries. Come on, all Brendan Dassey wanted to do was go to WrestleMania. That's all I'll say. Yeah. And the rest of the documentaries, they don't do the American police any favors. You know what I mean? Although, have you seen the Gardaí training videos?
I think I've seen some of them. Yeah.
Oh. No disrespect to the guards. I know a lot. I know a few guards, and they're brilliant. They're top blokes, but Jesus Christ. Anyway.
There we go. Maybe say anything else. What did you make? Cody Rhodes says a third bout against Roman Reigns is probably a very hard match to have happen. Keith?
Good. To be honest, I don't particularly want to see another Cody and Roman. It's like watching another Brock and Roman match again. To be honest, I think we're done with that. If anything, I'm kind of looking forward to like Cody and Drew McIntyre, because Cody and Drew, like McIntyre, for me, deserves another title shot for sure. I'm kind of bored with Cody as champ, if I'm being honest. I don't mind him chasing the title. It's just that I don't like him as champ, and I just find him very bored. You know,
it's only been a week.
No, but when he was a champ before then.
Oh.
You know, like I don't know. Like
that stellar title reign there, the first 5-6 months of the year, yeah.
I would like Drew McIntyre to get a title shot, if I'm being honest with you, because I think he'd be credible champ, and I think he deserves.
You'd like him to be champ again and have a run with the belt.
Yeah, because I think he deserves it. I think he was a bit unfortunate when it was the COVID time, and it was kind of just wasn't the right time for him to be a champ with everything that was going on.
Not a bad show. I think we'd be saying the same about. I just have this feeling that if we gave him the belt, we'd be saying the same thing about him within 6 months, maybe. I hope I'm wrong, because look, he's a great Drew. Yeah, he's a great chaser. He's very funny on social media. He's one of them, and he puts on good matches. But I don't know. I think after about 6 months, it'd be kind of like, we should probably give it to somebody else now. That's my feeling on it.
Do you think wrestling fans are just they get bored too easily, in the sense that like after a couple of months, I just want a new champ then, or do you think it just has to be a certain champ that just keeps their attention, like Roman, for instance?
No, you're right. You'll never find people who hate this sport more than the fans of the sport.
Do you know what? And Sean Mack, you've touched on it a few times as well, particularly the internet wrestling community, but the wrestling community as itself, and I'm part of it, can be so divisive, and sometimes people take it mentally serious. Like, and like I've had little back and forwards with people, and they take me dead seriously. Like, there's a lot of wrestling at the moment. There's a lot of content for us to take in, and I think, I think in a way we as a fan base, it's a bit like football fans, really. I think football fans are a bit more toxic, but I think we have too much access to our own little community. And so with some people, what you'll hear some people say, this is fact. This is what should happen in wrestling. And if you have any other opinion, you're wrong. That is complete and utter balls. I don't agree with everything that, say, Sean O would say, or Sean, or anybody on this podcast would say. That doesn't mean that they're right and I'm wrong. Like Niall alluded to earlier on, the Wyatt Six. I happen to think they're a good fit. Niall does not. He's not wrong, but either am I either. You know what I mean? Let's take over the wrestling community, like
Sean Ross.
I know who Sean Ross is.
Black shoe polish for his scalp. There we go. Brent's kind of the Brian Pillman of this podcast, isn't he? He's a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Did you know what it is? I just think it's with people that take themselves too seriously, just fucking ride the balls off me. They do. Like your man, I won't even mention his name. Let's just say it rhymes with the nay. All right, let's not even mention that. let's not even mention that guy. It's just people that take themselves like. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to.
I wouldn't see any of that, because after a while, I eventually had to convince myself that I needed to grow up. So I got away from all that. I cleansed myself of all that shite. So I got away with it.
But do you know what though? I think the fact that we're so divisive as a community as well works, but unfortunately, it's a little section of it that gets all the attention.
The little spoil fuckers who don't get what they want, who sleep on their mother's couch. Let's say it. Let's put it out there. Let's not distract from it.
Yeah, but I'm all cleansed as well until I see Goldberg again, and then it's like, oh, fuck off! Like I just turn it off.
Oh man.
Yeah, but you're not. But you're not walking out of your room to go outside and loaf your pebble dash wall for an hour, because you're not getting what you want. You're not spoiled. You're not self-serving. You know what I mean? You're not lying on the couch waiting on your mum to walk in with a bag of peanut M&Ms for you and all. You know what I mean? This is what we're dealing with. I'm not going to let some slacker sitting on a couch who wants to loaf a wall every time he doesn't get what he wants, telling me what I like and what I should and shouldn't like in pro wrestling. I love it all. I love pro wrestling.
100%. And look, it could be worse. They could bring back The Undertaker. I'm only messing, Keith. I'm only messing. I heard how you were talking about him earlier on.
Aren't they half thinking doing that?
I love The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Rides my balls with his takes. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree. Come here. That's another thing as well. I wanted to. I'm probably taking over a bit here. Sorry.
Did you mention The Undertaker there? She's showing up more these days than he ever did when he was wrestling.
Oh.
He's on our screens every week now.
Yeah.
I think the Dead Man Show has been done to death as well. No pun intended. But Meltzer, and do you know who else?
The Dead Show.
Do you know who else grinds my gears? What's his name? Jonathan Coachman. What
Yeah.
utter balls him and Russo come out with. Utter balls. They are the Sun newspaper of wrestling media.
Russo's way worse.
We need you to elaborate on that. You can't just throw that out there. I know where this is going. Sean always not going to appreciate this either. Go on, throw it out there.
Okay, so what their new thing is now? Their new thing is now that they think Valkyrie is on the way out and she'll be gone and sacked in the next 6 months. That is total and utter balls. Now I will say this. Valkyrie looked like she was delivering lines from a script this week, if I'm honest with you, and I wasn't very good, right? But at the same time, she's bloody brilliant. She's not been removed from the show. She still will be on the roster in 6 months. She'll be on the roster in a year. They're just off their rockers, and they're completely wrong. So the likes of Meltzer, and who's that guy that hangs around with Meltzer? What's his name? The one that does it, Brian Alvarez, is it?
Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, Alvarez.
What a smug, arrogant, stuck-up little you-know-what. Again, these guys, they're guesswork. It's look, if I'm watching wrestling, if all I do is watch wrestling, the predictability of it can become obvious. Your chances of getting something wrong or right sometimes are 70-30, sometimes are 80-20. It's not a fucking hard, sorry for cursing, it's not a hard job to do. It is just not a hard job to do. There are absolute balls there. Sorry.
It's nothing better to be at. That's what it is. They have to make up crap.
No, here, listen, look. To be honest, I'd like their job, because I love talking about wrestling. It's why I'm here on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean? I love talking about it. But we have
the unpaid version of it right here.
But to spew balls
Talk
as
about that later.
Is ridiculous. Balls.
Solo monster.
Sorry.
A human tree twig annoys me as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm after going off on a tangent there. Sorry, I didn't mean it, but it's just some people just grind my gears.
Yeah. This is what we're here for. It's a therapy session. Get it all out. Come on, don't hold.
He follows me on Twitter. Russo does.
Yeah. I met Russo.
Have you?
I've met Russo. I'll send a picture into the chat.
No, you were at that evening.
You were there as well, were you?
Yeah.
I met. Yeah, I walked up like a little mark. I'm saying all I'm saying now, but I walked up, was like, "Hey, you can have a picture, please."
In fairness to him, that night he was okay.
He was great.
Like he spoke a lot about obviously Chris Benoit and stuff like that, and he spoke about the one thing he would still love to have done as a booker would be book John Cena as a heel. Remember he was speaking about it that night, and it was pretty good. Some good stuff.
Can you imagine? I mean, if you thought the John Cena heel run was bad, imagine Russo did it.
Well, he got him to turn in the Thunderdome and it'd be all Mad Max.
Yeah.
He'd have a hockey stick and
Cena in the bro throw.
Do you know what? I'll send a picture of, like, I'm after talking smack about him, but I look like a little goon in the picture. I look like the biggest fanboy in the world. I'm Vince Russo. I'm your biggest fan.
Hey,
that's
bro.
kind of what I look like.
But you're that guy. So, you're that guy. If it was Nikki Bella, Bubba Ray Dudley, you'd be that guy.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're absolutely not. I'll stop you right there, Niall. Absolutely not. If Nikki was on this podcast, I'd tell her exactly how I felt. If your man, if Bubba Ray was on this podcast, I'd call him an attention-seeking little whore to his mouth.
If Nikki Bella was on this podcast, you would have the hair done, the beard to be sorted, the whole lot.
Nikki Bella and her sister could kick through this door now and say, "Take us and do it." And actually, I shouldn't be talking like that. But they could say whatever.
Yes, please. Yes,
I would say, girls, I'm watching something. See the welfare. Get out, or I'm doing something. And please don't come back.
There's the door.
Do you know what I mean? Pee off. You know what I mean?
It was good enough for John Cena.
But listen,
he's
that
a very
relationship.
He just goes quiet.
that relationship was completely manufactured and scripted, and it was done to boost the ratings of a reality TV show. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Hence why it's on Total Divas.
Which, yeah,
Total Palace.
I'm just getting attacked here tonight.
Which was brilliant. And listen, make no mistake about it. And I said it last week, and I'll say it this week. The only reason Nikki Bella is back is because she failed as a reality TV show star. I could fall down the stairs and halfway down the stairs make it as a big reality TV star and stay on top. It's not a hard job to do.
Look at Brent's face. He's going on.
Sorry.
Look at my heel there.
Sorry. Anyway,
Ben,
it's better than seeing.
It's wonderful. I love you, Bran. It's wonderful.
What they're killing the mood.
Yeah, no. We'll go back into the comments here for a second because I do want to get your thoughts on something else. Actually, if Nikki was on this podcast, I'll ask, why do you dress like you're 8 high school while nearly being 40?
Never mind, we're going backwards.
She'd probably say the same to
us.
Although, listen, man, I walk around in wrestling t-shirts. Like I was in work today in a wrestling t-shirt, different one than this, mind you, but a wrestling t-shirt
same.
nonetheless. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I work as a serious job, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely right. Let's what have I got? A little bit of history and stuff like that now. But before we get into history, lads, I seen another thing on the internet the other day, and I know we're coming up to an hour and a half. A little bit of history here and some nice birthdays and stuff like that. But before we start, Sean Mack, you were late to the party tonight. You were busy. I want to get a comment off you. Did WWE drop the ball with Mr. Kennedy? Yes or no?
That's tough. I would have to say yes and no. Yes being we still, every time I see this microphone that I have here, I think of Mr. Kennedy. His theme is still great. His matches were good. He was a good wrestler. And you know, I just keep, sometimes I just think to myself, I'm just in my house alone and I just go, Kennedy, totally unprovoked. I think it's a vocal stim I have. So there's that, but then there's also the things he got injured a fair bit. So that put a halt to some plans. And then I think the match that actually got him fired, I think it was 2010. So I think what happened was they were meant to do a show in Denver, in the arena where the Denver Nuggets basketball team played. And something happened and it got cancelled. So that night on Raw, they did a match, a 4-way. I could tell you he was in it. All the 4 baby faces of Raw against the heels in SmackDown. And the baby faces wore Lakers jerseys and the heels wore the Denver Nuggets jerseys. And in that match, I think Mr. Kennedy did like a back suplex on Randy Orton. But right. He landed on the back of his neck. And apparently him and John Cena together petitioned to Mr. McMahon that he wasn't safe, and he got fired after that. And like stuff happens, and like I'm not saying like that just because Randy Orton didn't get seriously hurt that time doesn't mean that someone else won't another time. Well, I think in terms of character, I think it'd be great to see him back. Imagine him showing up at the Rumble or something, and like Dominic Mysterio is number 1. He's like, who's number 2? And then the microphone comes down and it's Kennedy. I don't know, but then I think Mr. Kennedy himself, a lot of people when they, you know, leave under the circumstance that they did, they're really bitter about it. They're like, I should have done this, it's not fair, and da-da-da-da. But you see him on Chris Van Vliet and he takes accountability and responsibility for everything that happened to him. Even the things that were beyond his control, like getting injured for 6 months.
That's a good point, actually, because when it comes to Maven, I was enjoying Maven up till about 3 weeks ago. And then something has kind of changed there, hasn't he? He's become fucking whiny fucker or something.
Oh, was that about Triple H?
The one about Triple H, and he was talking about a lot of stuff and all. He's just taking shots now, and you're there going, you're trying to be coachman. Stop. Yeah. You know? Right, let's get into history anyway. So let's start. 2019, Bray Wyatt's new alter ego, The Fiend, made his in-ring debut at SummerSlam against Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Against Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins regained the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar. 1988, Kurt Hennig and Owen Hart, wrestling royalty, both made their WWF television debuts. Hennig wrestled under his real name, and Hart competes as the Blue Blazer. 2012, Okada defeated Carl Anderson in the final of the G1 Climax tournament. At 24 years of age, Okada was the youngest G1 winner in history. Now we have a few wrestlers that passed away. 2007, we lost Bryan Adams, most well known as Crush, passed away. 2010, we lost Lance Cade, who passed away as well. And obviously 2018, we lost WWE Hall of Famer and multi-time former tag team champion Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who sadly passed away. 2004, in an episode of Raw airing from Ontario, Canada, we saw the celebration for a newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton, hosted by his Evolution teammates. And of course, all was well until Triple H gave the L and bear down to begin officially kicking him out of the group, and so the beatdown in relation to the belt. 2010, the record was set for the quickest championship match to take place on Raw when Sheamus defeated Zack Ryder to successfully defend the WWE Championship in 11 seconds. Don't know if that still holds till this day. Notable birthdays for this week. Terry Taylor, of course, you would remember as the Red Rooster, but also a phenomenal agent and trainer, 1952. One Jonathan Coachman, 1972, same age as myself. 1949, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. 1970, Spike Dudley. 1949, Bob Backlund. 1981, Kofi Kingston. 87 for Johnny Gargano. 1929 for Fritz von Erich. 1946 for Dick Murdoch. 1989 for Cedric Alexander. And we rounded out with 1953 for one Hulk Hogan. They are your notable birthdays for this week. I
forgot his birthday was this week.
72. Yeah. Wow.
It's not that young. We're not that old, I should say. Not that young either.
Yeah.
But...
I wouldn't wrestle Kennedy. I don't fold up like a Playboy mag.
Jesus.
Lance
Cade is 15 years dead. Damn, I feel old. Yeah, it's mad.
I was thinking the same, and he had such a future, did Lance Cade. I thought he did anyway. Superstar.
As Alison Chain says, here comes the rooster. Yeah, the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor. There we go. Anything to add before we go, folks? Of course, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification button and dropping a like on the video. As always, make sure you're following the lads on their socials as well. We will be back next week with a slightly different flavor. We'll have a build up to Forbidden Door. So that should be interesting. I think it's this year's the 24th, isn't it?
Yeah. 24th. And they shot themselves in the foot putting it on the same time as the G1 Climax. So it became a Forbidden Door. Now it's just a door.
Yes. Yes.
The door.
AEW door.
That is not good. Not good at all. We didn't do the NXT Mount Rushmore. That's the only thing.
Sorry, I'm right. Well, we'll dive in there now. Then we'll dive in there now. Sorry, right. Let us know what you have, lads. These are some of the images I pulled down. Do you agree with these? Do you disagree with these? Did any of these match it? Is it a combination?
For me,
go on. Go ahead. No, I noticed on a lot of them that I downloaded, Kevin Owens was missing, which was kind of strange.
So, well, I would have put Bo Dallas ahead of Bray Wyatt on that. Maybe. I don't know. But I have Seth Rollins, obviously the first NXT champ. I have Asuka, the longest reigning women's NXT champ. I think they deserve to be there as a result. And also where they are today.
She was undefeated as well, wasn't she?
Undefeated, completely, yeah. Kevin Owens, what an impact he made when he showed up with the NXT title on Raw. Phenomenal. And of course, sorry. And for me, Bayley, probably, in my opinion, the most overlooked member of the Four Horsewomen. 100% better than Sasha Banks. So I put Bayley there as well because I love Bayley in NXT.
Sean O'Rourke.
He really has it out for me tonight, doesn't he? No, sorry, every week.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry.
It was the Vince Russo comment that sent you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You were a mark, according to Vince Russo.
I just like good wrestling. Sorry, Sean. I just like good wrestling.
Sean, give us your Vince Russo impression. I know you have one. Go on.
If they even offered me the Hall of Fame, I'd say no, bro.
Yes.
If I could have,
that is magnificent.
If I could have got the opportunity to book John Cena heel, he'd be facing Randy Orton in a John Cena Senior on a pole match, and then joining the Authority afterwards, bro.
Sean,
think of what we lost.
Sean, I'm going to be shooting. I'm going to be shooting an ad soon in a place called River Bar, and it's an ad for. I don't even know what it's for, but you know what? You're damn good. I want you on that ad if we can get you. I'll have my people speak to your people. All right.
What, doing Vince Russo?
Incredible. Maybe Vince Russo ordering a drink. Anyway, sorry.
When he was born, he turned to his mum and said, "Hey, bro."
Yeah, he has a terrible pint, and he goes, "If they even offered me this for free," and then you say, "Well, why not come down to the River Bar?"
Bro. There we go.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, the city even has a pole." It's him obsessing over the spire. He's like,
Yeah, of course. I have to book a match on the Spire. Deadly.
Yeah.
There we go. Sean O'Rourke.
Oh, this one's tough. I feel like the one up here in the top left kind of hits the nail on the head. I would probably replace Adam Cole with Tommaso Ciampa. Other than that,
he should be on there, but over Adam Cole is a shit.
I mean, either. I don't mind. If I had room for both, I would genuinely put both.
That's why these are impossible. Mount Rushmores are impossible, man. I get you.
Finn, Johnny, and Oscar are definites. If I could put Tommaso and Adam Cole on it, it would be chef's kiss. There's your chef's kiss for the week, folks.
Could you put Gargano and Ciampa in together as DIY? Just have DIY as one of the heads, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Have half a head, half a head.
It's going to be controversial now. Sean Max coming in here. Let's go, Sean.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I said KO earlier, but I'm actually going to switch it. Probably wouldn't have been my first choice, but he was the first ever NXT champion. And the fact that I haven't seen him on a couple of these is quite shocking. Seth Rollins.
Absolutely.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on any of these.
He's the first one on mine. Absolutely.
But you could also throw in Kevin Owens. You could throw in Sami Zayn, Lars Sullivan.
Wow.
Bet he'd like that be next to all the.
Oh no.
He's an accomplished actor now. Lars Sullivan.
He certainly is.
Not hearing that. Now his genre wouldn't exactly be my cup of tea, but if that's your thing, you go, girl. You know. Someone has to be. Oh god, I think if you go down if you go in like the 898 channels on Sky, you'd probably find him somewhere.
Alrighty, I'll do it now.
It's on the channel below Babe Station.
One of them. Fair enough.
Or T1.
Kate.
Yeah, I would have went with Finn. I would have went Oscar as well because she's the longest one. Seth Rollins is one. I was going to say that too before. Because he's the first ever one. And then I wonder went with Bray, because I think Bray was phenomenal with the Wyatts.
Good show, actually.
But over all those other people. But again, it's all about opinion. I always hate Rushmore because it's 4. And you can't condense anything in wrestling, whether it be the best of all time, the NXT ones, tag titles, anything like that. Tag teams. Sorry.
Who do you think is the biggest NXT wrestler to come out of NXT?
To come out of NXT?
Well, it has to be Seth Rollins, doesn't it?
Seth Rollins, yeah.
I don't think there can be any argument there. I mean, it has to be like Seth Rollins.
Did you say Asuka, maybe one of them as well?
Probably.
Rhea Ripley, obviously.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, 100%. But
what about?
No, it's Seth Rollins, undoubtedly.
The genesis of McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy.
Oh,
man.
Rybaxel. The Nexus.
Becky.
Axelmania.
I only watched that clip the other day of Axelmania. The Mega Powers when Sandow came out as a Macho Man.
It was so good. That was the worst thing. It was so over.
But you know what? It was incredible. Really good.
Sandow actually was very good, wasn't he?
Oh,
unbelievable. When he's the stunt double for Miz, it was one of the best things on telly at the time. Overall, on television, not just wrestling, on television.
Don't give
Niall, what's yours?
Yeah. No Way Jose. No.
Yeah.
No,
come on.
No way, Jose.
Balor's in there, obviously. KO, Balor, KO, Adam Cole, and gonna put Becky in there.
Yeah,
Becky. Gotta put Becky in. Hometown girl.
So hard to pick 4.
The Rosebuds.
It's impossible.
Well, you could probably do a women's and a men's and do them separately, I suppose.
Yeah.
The
women's, men's, tag teams.
A Rosebuds Mount Rushmore.
You know what I mean? Do you remember Enzo and Cass debuted on Raw as an example?
Yeah. Jesus
straight
Christ.
away, it was one of the best debuts.
You know who they debuted against?
Dudley's, wasn't it?
I know.
Your friends, the Dudley Boy.
well,
and
look,
thing, yeah.
Happy birthday to the second best Dudley after Devon, Spike.
Spike is great. One thing about Enzo and Cass, I found out the night Enzo got concussed, it turns out that there was like people saying they had to change the finish. It turns out that what was meant to happen was the Vaudevillains won. So they were going to feud with the New Day, and then Enzo and Cass were going to then feud with the Dudley Boys. That could have been quite something.
I think I still have that Vaudevillain shirt, the one with the old circus picture, the old carnival picture.
Gather round and welcome, in English, Simon Gotch, the Vaudevillain. And then it became like really dark and demonic. I actually quite like that gimmick. Oh, it was cool.
It was cool. Don't ask Simon Gotch about Enzo.
Why?
Never asked.
You know what someone should do? Someone should interview him and just be sure. I don't think he'd do big numbers on YouTube. You've probably never seen it before.
Has he said anything about Enzo ever? Jesus.
Oh, you know what? I think we should get someone to do an interview and put it on YouTube. Just small. I don't think it's not going to be in anyone's For You page or inbox for 6.
Our resident Mean Gene Okerlund could do it. Sean O.
Now tell me about your relationship with Enzo Murray.
Do you know who I really liked on NXT? Remember the Ascension, and then they came up and died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were very good on NXT.
That Legends
really
segment they did with them, I think, was the APA and a few other people. Jesus, like literally an on-air execution.
Yeah, they were the Daniel Puder of their time, weren't they? Really,
that hurts. Yeah, but they were.
Same with Keith Lee. He died as well, didn't he, when he came up?
Yeah. Well, that's because they gave him that stupid music, which didn't last long.
Yeah, his gear and his music, the two best things about him, and they took both of them away.
Yeah.
He should have been massive, and actually, as he was coming up, I was really excited. I thought, you know what, this is the future. This is, and it was one of the times I was wrong. But and then he went to AEW, and then AEW did what they do to all big stars. They dampened their light, and that's exactly what they did.
You know who would have been great, and they've mucked him up, was Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode, he was a total package. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He had the entrance, he was great in the ring, and he had the charisma. Phenomenal. But look, he's working backstage and he's doing well back there. He's produced some good matches. And Jeff Harvey, he was great.
Jeff Harvey.
Braden Walker.
Braden Walker's a great shout.
Oh yeah.
That was Chris. Who was he in TNA?
Remember the segment backstage where he was introducing himself to Matt Hardy. Remember he was in America's Most Wanted in TNA and all.
In TNA,
awesome. He was awesome. Then he got the contract in WWE, and he came out and he was like twice the size poured into a singlet. Hi, Braden Walker.
Yeah, he fell off a cliff then. I feel bad for people like that because didn't he have an incest storyline going on, or there was kind of an insinuated?
That's why they left.
What's the story with Vince and incest?
Yeah.
Or
did you know he pitched an angle like that to Stephanie? Did you know that? An incest story to his own daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said that to me in work. Somebody said he was not a wrestling fan, but he watched the Vince documentary, and he said, "Did you know about the Vince McMahon pitching to his daughter that he's the father of their child?" I was like, yeah. And you still watch it? Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, still watch it this day.
It's like the Lacey Evans Ric Flair storyline.
Yeah.
Never stopped.
It's just morbid curiosity. But the thing is, oh God, Vampire Paul Burchill, he was really, really good. And I think he became a paramedic after wrestling, and he came back recently enough.
That part of the gimmick was terrible.
The entrance was cool.
Remember he used to come down on the rope.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Was it not?
No, that's why it's 6 levels. Stop that now.
I mean, that's fucking that's levels of TJ, not TJ Hooker. What was that? TJ Hopper. TJ Hopper.
Crazy.
Yeah, TJ Hopper.
You know what I mean? It's levels of that kind of gimmick, or Max Moon. You know what I mean? We don't need pirates. We don't need people in spaceships. We don't need Techno Team 2000. What we need is a dash of reality in who we watch.
Sylvester Torquay.
Elijah Burke
was quite stiff according to CM Punk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's an ECW match. By ECW, I mean WECW, where he had Punk in the Tree of Woe upside down, and he did like a Meteora, the two knees digging into his back, and like he got all of it, didn't hold back at all.
You know who should have been, who I thought was going to be massive? Marcus Vaughn, and he was in TNA as I forget
Marcus
his name.
Corvon, was it?
Yeah, and he was in TNA as a different name. I forget his name. I'm like, I haven't taken me pills today, so my memory is just like ash, stiff like a blue pill. Oh my! Well,
we're not a wrestling podcast because we haven't.
Eventually, we'll get sponsored by Blue Chew.
We'll have to.
Yeah, Marcus Corvon.
Only way we'll get in the wrestling.
Marcus Corvon was Monty Brown, wasn't he?
Yes, Monty Brown. Of course, and he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. It was brilliant, and do you know what? I heard he left. He had to leave, unfortunately. But he was phenomenal in TNA.
He was an ex-NFL player, wasn't he? I think. If I'm right.
I don't know, but I remember some of the things that he did in TNA, and he was just explosive.
That pounce off that six-sided ring looked really impressive. Really impressive.
It was incredible.
That was Braun Breaker levels. That pounce. Right, lads, we better go. We're coming up to nearly 2 hours. Good lordy. Where does the time go? Right, until next time, folks, as I said, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Big thank you to everyone in the chat, including Romy, who has lit it right up. Big thank you to Keith for coming on. Pleasure, as always. We will get you on again. Sean Mack parachuting in as well. Hope that had a good birthday. Tell him we all wish him happy birthday. Niall, I'll sign the guitar next time I drop in the shop.
How'd you spell his name again? Joking.
Up here somewhere, isn't
it? R-E-G-G-R-U-S-S.
Jeff Harvey.
My Wi-Fi password. There we go. Until next time, folks, have a safe week. I will be back tomorrow night with a preview for the Bournemouth game on Friday. Thursday, I'll be back with Darren for Premier League predictions. So make sure you get in for that as well, and everything in between. Mad week for podcasting, as always. Talk to you all again real soon. Cheers, lads.
Good night. God bless.
See you later.
Catch you soon.